So, everybody has their hobby. It's how people pass the time and find enjoyment in life. Some people play sports, others take pictures. I hoard paper and plastic. I'm a force of nature and lead contributor to microplastics in your children. Yep, I enjoy collecting video games, and his video is 100% definitely not my take on Scott the Waz's style, video, and everything he does. I have no idea when I decided that I wanted to keep every piece of shit video game I came across compared to when I was younger and used to trade games I finished in just to make some money and get something new. But here I am, and now I'm thousands of dollars in tragic debt to the video game industry. I just really love these things. Each game is its own experience, story, music, visuals. Just going up to my collection to find something to spend in my free time is simply amazing. Ever since I was a kid, I'd watch videos of people with these massive filled shelves lining their room full of their favorite video games, and my dumb ass wanted it so bad. 10 years later, I learned how jobs worked. It's simply one of those mesmerizing things. Video games are an interesting amalgamation of music, choreography, art, and so much more, so each one has its own value, however much different they may be. That relaxing feeling of just finding some free time, relaxing, grabbing a game off the shelf, putting it in and playing is a simple joy I find, since when I was younger it was pretty scarce for me. I'm one of those insane people that prefer having their video games in a physical copy. Moments like Nintendo's releasing and removing the Fire Emblem port and Super Mario All-Stars from stores makes you realize that video games are an incredibly fragile sort of media. They require the game itself, hardware to run it, sometimes accessories in order to play it. Games can simply be removed from legal access. Examples just recently being the PS3 and PS Vita store, which had so many digital exclusive games that can't be played unless you've already purchased them. Or what about Angry Birds, Angry Birds Seasons, Angry Birds Space, Angry Birds Star Wars 1 and 2, all removed from the Play Store. The only legitimate way to access and play them now is on these physical copies they released on game systems, which don't include every single version. Angry Birds Space is technically lost. Same with Angry Birds Star Wars 2. Collecting video games has also helped give every game I come across more personal value. It's pushed me to take new experiences, try games I really have no idea about. I'm not going to spend $60 on something just because I see it, but taking blind shots in the dark led me to Sayonara Wild Hearts, Enter the Gungeon, Scribblenauts, and more indie and AAA gems alike, just like how I'd buy games when I was a kid. I didn't have a phone, I couldn't look up reviews or gameplay. What the cover showed was what I wanted, and it's made collecting fun over the years. Not that every purchase that way is a gold mine, though. And of course, half the fun of collecting is showing it off, so here's my video game collection at this moment. Firstly, at the bottom of the shelf, you've got my Wii games. Majority of these are from when I was a kid. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Sonic and the Black Knight, Lego Harry Potter, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and the sleeve that came with my system. But I've also slowly accumulated a couple more over time. Problem is, Wii games are either expensive and good or shovelware. There's truly no in between. It's hard to hunt for this system because everything that's likely good is as expensive as a new game, and everything that sucks gives me a reason to delay my credit card payments that much longer. I found this Generator Rex game at a Rite Aid. The store clerk wasn't even able to scan it and had to call over the manager, who just offered $2 for it. $1 less than market value. We call those gains, baby. Above them is my Switch collection, which I've probably enjoyed collecting the most over the years. A couple standout titles from this are Crystal Crisis, Risk of Rain 1 and 2, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's basically the main system I play at the moment, and while first-party games are pretty expensive, those indie physicals are also great. So many I've got on my list I need to find physicals of someday. Above that, we've got my PlayStation 1 and 3 games, including this Japanese copy of J-Star's Victory Versus. The PlayStation 3 is a hard console to collect for, personally. Due to its difficulty to develop games for, as well as the market of the console generation for gritty, mature shit that fell from the same tree as this sort of stuff, it's pretty hard to find unique games, although when you do, it's absolutely worth the experience. There's so many interesting PS3 games, but you'll never find them in retailers or in physical, unless you're in like a retro video game store. So they're pretty hard to come by. Finally, all the way on the top of this shelf, my 3DS, DS, and Game Boy Advance collection. I ended up sawing and installing an additional shelf onto the bookshelf so that I could display more games in the same place. My DS game collection is definitely, without a doubt, my favorite and my largest, so I definitely needed a place to display my copy of Clubhouse games. It was a necessity. My 3DS collection is definitely the smallest handheld one at the moment, although I am happy with it and do want to expand it for sure. Finally, my Game Boy Advance collection, which I was actually able to store in this massive box of 3D printed DS cases. TheCoverProject.com is a forum site that allows anyone to upload HD scans of cover art for anyone to print, including custom-made photoshopped ones of Game Boy Advance games replicating DS case art. It's amazing just to have a way to display my games, even if the case art is kind of printed on a crappy inkjet printer that just minutely misses the measurements for DS case art, causing me to lose my mind. And of course, everyone will try and ask, what's the rarest part of your collection? The answer will not be very interesting. The majority of my DS games are PAL region, so there's a lot of PAL region exclusive stuff just because the brands and the franchises that these come from basically don't exist anywhere else. Like right here, for example, you've got Boule Bill, which is a French children's comic. I'm not saying it's a good game, but I'm just saying that it's European exclusive. Magical Michael Pang is another European exclusive game I have. It's not particularly expensive. You can definitely pick one up on eBay for roughly $20, $30, even cheaper. In the end, a US release was planned, but ultimately cancelled, and I'm not really sure why. The game ended up only being released in Europe and Australia, which makes it really interesting, and it's a ton of fun. In all honesty, I'm not sure why I decided to make this train wreck of a video, probably to express some of the fun of collecting. This stuff doesn't even just apply to video games, I also collect Pokemon cards, so maybe I'll make a variant of that on my second channel. Please go follow it, I've never showed it on my main channel. Please goddamn follow it. I need validation for this stuff, I haven't uploaded in months. Collecting is an interesting and entertaining hobby. It really gives everything you obtain value that otherwise goes unnoticed, even if it may have a ton of flaws. You kind of look at everything and say, well look, this is absolute dog shit. This is horrible. But I own it.